Welcome to the Higgins House and my mommy's podcast.
And welcome to another episode of the Higgins House. I am here with my best friend Mackenzie. She is nervous and I'm going to make her say all the things. But we are here today to talk about all things raising toddlers. We were originally going to talk about raising boys versus girls, which we will get to later. But we figured that there were just, in general, a lot of chaos when it comes to raising toddlers.
Always.
It's the worst. So why don't you introduce yourself, tell us about your family, what it consists of, all the toddlerisms, all the things.
Okay, so I'm Mackenzie, married to my husband Will, who's a fireman, which means he works 24 hours at a time, which creates its own fun
We literally
problems.
just talked about this the other night. Jobs and how it affects your life.
It's a problem. And so we have two girls. We have Huntley, who is going to be 4 next month, who acts like she's 13. And then we have a 2-year-old. I guess she's 2.5, named Taylin. So all fun.
And our kids are basically the same age. So Zane and Huntley are best friends for life. They have already decided that.
Always.
I've chosen to believe they're going to get married and then we get to be related, but that's just me.
Yeah.
And let's see. Huntley is a school year behind Zane, though, right?
Yes.
So Zane was born in March. Huntley was born in what, October?
October.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Taylin and Benjamin are the exact opposite, aren't they? When was Taylin born?
So she's born in May, and then he's October.
October. Okay. So, yes. So our oldest have already decided that they're best friends, and they get really excited when we go see each other. And what was it? We went to Berkeley. We went to Huntley's birthday, and she was like, "My best friend is here."
Yes, her best friend Zane is always the topic.
Yes, it's great. And so he was a little offended that you didn't bring her today.
She actually doesn't know that I'm here.
Oh, that's
because
probably should keep it that way.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you expect a interview with Zane and Huntley so that you guys can get a perfect visual of what those two are like.
Yeah.
But so originally this episode was going to be raising boys versus girls, and then we are going to address that. But then the more we talked about it, there really isn't that much difference when they're toddlers.
No.
And ages like infant to 5. It doesn't really matter the difference. And so we're just going to talk about all things raising toddlers. I think like in the whole boys versus girls aspect, like the first 2 babies that I brought home had circumcisions and peed straight up in the air.
See, don't have that.
Yeah, you didn't have to worry about those things.
No.
And I was not prepared when I brought Zane home. I was like, oh, shoot, he just shot me in the eye. Like, this is a problem. And then the same thing with Benjamin. And then when Lady Kate was born, I was like, I literally planned. I was like, and then for the circumcision, and Tyler was like, we're not doing that this time. And I was like, oh, you're right. Well, crap. What do I do now? Like, I didn't even know what I was supposed to do. So it was like, for y'all, I know we always talk about like, make sure everything is clean. Make sure
all
everything
the crevices.
Yes, there's all
Yes.
the crevices. Make sure nobody gets an infection. And I'm like, I didn't have to worry about these things with the boys. But now it's a whole thing for me. So, but I guess like with Zane is more of our emotional child. Which one of yours is the emotional one?
Definitely
I mean,
Huntley.
you have 2 girls, but
I do, but no, Huntley is if she thinks that she's accidentally hurt somebody, tears instantly.
yes.
Whether she's in trouble or not, there's tears.
Zane's not so much worried about other people as he is himself, but
Yeah.
but definitely the emotional one. And then there's Taylin and Benjamin, who have like 0 cares in the world.
Yeah, they don't care about it. They're just real chill.
They like to bug the older sibling.
Oh, yeah.
And Benjamin like intentionally sticks his foot out in the car and just like whack Zane right in the face.
Yeah.
Just for fun. I always tell Tyler, I'm like, Zane has PTSD. Like Benjamin can just point his toe in the general direction and Zane's like, Mom! And I'm like, he hasn't even done anything yet, but he's going to.
He knows what's about to come.
He knows.
Yeah.
And so I guess let's just start at the beginning. So we were talking about this in another episode that when we got married, it was instant parenthood. Like I got married and there was Berkeley was already involved. So I immediately became a parent. So what is the gap between when y'all got married and you had Huntley?
So we got married in July, and I found out I was pregnant in, I guess, February 1st. So she was born October. So I was pregnant for our first anniversary.
Me too.
So we'd been together. He wanted kids right away. Well, on our first date, he told us we were going to have 12. He wanted 12
Oh,
kids.
absolutely not.
For some reason, I stuck around
You
after
shot that down, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, we had, a good 6 months of,
Freedom.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Then now it's gone. We
Yeah.
don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we were the same way. Like we got married in end of October. Zane was born in. I can hear them screaming upstairs.
I
That's
can
not a
too.
good sign. For those listening, they're not alone. There's someone up there with them, but it's not a good sign that we can hear them. March. He was born in March, so same concept. It was like immediately after. There was no pause of like, let's enjoy a year or two of marriage.
Yeah.
Before like sleeping just was non-existent.
Pretty
And
much.
I thank God every single day that Tyler had already had a child, because I was like, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so confused. And Tyler was like, we're fine. I got it. Like, other than the fact that this one was a boy, he was good. But like, when Huntley came, how did that change your marriage? Good and bad. I mean,
Good and bad. So Will was great. So when we had Huntley, we were actually in the NICU for a week.
Was he already firefighter?
He was already firefighter before we met. So when we had Huntley, she was in the NICU for a week, just, precautionary stuff. And so I'm actually thankful for that time looking back, because first kid, we spent a week living in the NICU with nurses showing us how to do everything.
Support team, yes.
So it was wonderful. And then coming home, like he was great. But then that first shift when he was gone,
How soon did he go on shift?
probably a week after, because at that point he'd already been off 2 weeks.
It's like when my husband went on that hunting trip, Victoria.
Shoot.
Victoria runs the sound over here, and we were just talking. There's another episode we're talking about how a week after Zane was born, Tyler went on a hunting trip. It's totally the same as your husband saving lives and fighting fires.
It feels the same, 24 hours of just me and this child. And we live out at the lake, which is, 15 minutes from town. And so lots of fears with that.
Yes.
But, me and Huntley had our routine on the nights he was gone. The girls know if daddy's gone, like we've got our own routine. We just go with the flow. So adjusting to that was
A big adjustment. And then what's the difference between Huntley and Talon? Age.
So they're 19 months apart.
That's right. Because see, Zane's 5. Zane's 5. Benjamin is 2. And then there's 20 months between Benjamin and Lainey Kate.
Yeah.
I don't suggest that.
It's a lot.
It's a beautiful, loving relationship that they have, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Oh my gosh, it's a lot. I brought a baby into the baby's world, and then I added a speech delay, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
But no, we were just talking the other day about like the drastic effect of having children on your marriage. Like the world is like, get married, have children, and it's like nobody prepped you for like, get married, never sleep again, never shower by yourself again. Like I just want to pee by myself.
Yeah.
Nobody told you about that. Like,
You're never alone ever again.
No.
Ever.
no, ever. Like when I was pregnant, when I was pregnant with Zane, when I was pregnant with Lainey Kate, Zane used to come in early in the morning, and I would be sitting there like, I'm about to get in the shower. I obviously have no clothes on because I'm about to get in the shower. And Zane just like moves my boobs out of the way, kisses Lainey Kate, and then leaves. And I'm like, okay, time to start dressing myself in front of my kid. Like, here's my sign. And there's like zero privacy.
Yeah.
And now we live in a world of zero. Like, I don't care. Like,
No.
if people come over, I'm like, I don't have a shirt on. Sorry. Welcome to my world. Like, I got to
It is
pump.
what it is.
I got to pump.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Or if we're really close, I just walk around with the pump in my hand, like a walking cow.
We're at
Like,
that level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all at that level.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, by the way, I'm just going to carry my pump around and be milked like a cow in front of all of you. It's going to be
fine.
beautiful. But what about like when you added Talon to the mix and you went from 1 to 2? Yeah.
So
yes, that right there.
Oh.
That's what I was looking for.
yeah, it was a lot because, Huntley was my only one, especially if Will was gone. It was me and her.
Yes.
We did all the things, and now mommy's holding this little thing,
And there's another thing.
and like that interrupted the Huntley's world. Like,
Yes.
Go put that thing down. I need you.
Yep.
So
That's
there's-
what-
yeah.
Zane was that way. Zane wanted to help a lot. And it was like he wasn't old enough to help by himself. Berkeley was. Berkeley knew like when Zane was born, she was old enough to not like, I don't need to get up by myself. I need to sit in the chair to hold him or whatever. Like he can't have that. It's too small. Like she could do all those things. Then you threw Zane in the mix, and Zane just wanted to like squeeze the kid's face. Like, I love it so much. And I'm like, oh, quit climbing on the baby.
Yeah.
But then with Benjamin, it's like, I swear he still thinks Lainey Kate is like this inanimate object. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm just going to chunk her across the room. But like going from 1 to 2 was drastic.
Yeah.
For me. Actually, going from 1 to 2, now that I've compared going from 2 to 3, I do not suggest that either. We have 3 under 5, basically. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
Because bedtimes are different for everybody. There's just enough gap between like Zane's bedtime and Benjamin's bedtime. And it's getting closer. Like we're almost there. Yeah. And they're going to share a room. God help us all. But like that, it's like, okay, well, Ben goes down now. And then Zane goes down 30 minutes later. And then Lainey Kate goes down whenever she feels like it. Because, and then when the 12-year-old, when Berkeley's here, she's 12. So that adds on a whole other hour.
Right.
Bless her heart when she comes to visit. It's like 8:30 and we're in bed. And she's like, what are we doing? And I'm like, girl, the little ones are asleep. We going to bed.
Like, we're done.
Go to bed. Good night. Stay up till 10. It's fine. Peace out. But it's like sleep. What is sleep?
What is sleep?
Do you have that anymore?
No.
You really don't, though, because your kids sleep in your bed.
Okay, they don't.
They don't? Oh, I'm so proud of you.
So here's the deal. They did. They did for a long time. And I used to be shameful. I'm not. I don't care. It was what worked for our life. And so now they, at one point, shared a room. Mm-hmm. We had a twin-size bed, a queen-size bed. They both had their beds. Well, it got to the point where Taylor was climbing in with Huntley every night. So we sold the twin-size bed. Yep. Who needs that? They sleep in the queen-size bed.
There you go.
So they stayed most of the night in there. We're starting to work on taking them back to bed. Shift nights. They know that Daddy is gone and they get to sleep in my bed.
It's an open hole in the bed.
Absolutely. And I'm less anxious when they're with me. Mm-hmm. So we know it. But like last night, they do have the same bedtime. Mommy had the same bedtime last night. All 3 of us went to bed at 8 o'clock. And my blessed little husband slept on the couch because he didn't want to disturb us.
Well, that was very kind of him.
So, we sleep when we can. And shift nights, we all go to bed at the same time.
And sleep through the night?
And sleep through the night because they're with Mom. They don't need to wake up and worry.
Oh, that must be nice.
Now, in their own room, that's a different story. But I'll take it every third night.
Yep. Well, and that's like, we were adamant. I mean, like, going into our marriage, Tyler, and I really was in full agreement, but Tyler was adamant, like, they are not sleeping in our beds. No knock to anybody that does. It's not it wasn't even like a safety thing for us. It was like, I want my bed and you're not sleeping in my bed and I need that space. But luckily we had 3 children who really loved their beds. Like Zane loves his bed. Benjamin goes straight to his bed. When we travel, nobody sleeps as good as when we're at home. And so it was like, we didn't have that experience of like, co-sleeping or kids in your bed, or like people will be like, I can't get my kid out of my bed. And I'm like, I want to be helpful, but I can't because I never let mine in there. And that's not a judgmental thing. Like that, like you said, that's what worked for y'all. Mm-hmm. And that's what worked for us. It was like negative ghostwriter. And then like first thing in the morning, like if Zane gets up early, he'll come get in our bed. Or like if I'm getting ready for work, he'll go get in the bed with Tyler. But that was like sleep. When you have them that close together, even for you, it was like right when you start thinking that you're going to sleep through the night again, you have another baby.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we just started all over. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we decided to get a puppy instead of a third baby at this point in our lives. Yeah, that's a debate.
We or you?
I
don't usually side with your husband, but we or you?
I got the puppy, and now I would love to get rid of the puppy. But instead, it is our third child because I've told my husband until he decides to get a different job, there's no third babies coming into our life.
Probably a smart move.
Yeah, can't do it.
That's a smart from experience. That's a smart move. It's a lot.
Yeah,
I wasn't even prepared for how much it was. Like going to the grocery store. You can't even use the regular cart anymore. You got to get that big bus of a cart.
Bless it.
Strap it's like
the 2 in.
It's like driving a church van down the aisle. Yeah. And you're like having to do this massive
double wide turns.
Yeah. Down the frozen aisle. Yeah. It's nope. But like, and privacy with your husband, like just not even like sexy time, like just privacy in general. Like, could you please stop touching me?
Oh,
Could
yeah.
you please stop touching me?
Mm-hmm.
And we're both, this is a whole other episode, but anxiety is a thing for the two of us.
Oh, big time.
Depression is a thing that we both, or I specifically, but I know we have talked about it.
Yes.
And then when you have those issues and you're struggling with those things, touch is like too much.
You get
it's
touched
like
out.
overstimulated.
Absolutely.
Yes. And your kid, that's not your kid's fault. They don't know that. But it's like, oh my gosh, please stop. I have literally looked at Zane and said, please stop touching me. And
I
he's
love
like,
you, but go away.
and he's like,
Yeah.
but I love you. And I'm like, yeah, I love you too, but please stop touching me. And he's like, fine. And then he leaves. And then Tyler comes home and I'm like, please stop touching me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, I can't. I'm all touched out. But my husband's not even gone for 24 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So what's that like? Like just in general, like, so you're home with your kids all day and then your husband has been gone and now he's home.
Yeah. So
She said,
yeah. So it's very different. Like during the school year, because I'm a teacher.
Yeah, we're both
We're both
in
teachers.
education. Yes.
Work at the school. Kids go to school. So during the school year, like there is one morning where Will and I both get up. We both get ready. We get the girls ready. We both leave. I come home with the girls. It's just me and the girls. We go to sleep. We get up. We get ready. Dad's not home, so we get home from school. So like we have a routine. It's usually a little chaotic because nobody's there to help me, and that's it. The other 2 days,
It's like my entire life.
yeah. So by the time I get home, like Will's already been home. He's done whatever he's done that day, and so he's ready to like check the folders, do the backpacks, all that.
I checked the folder in the line on our way.
Bless
to
it.
school.
Me and Will.
I'm like, all right, Zane. Zane comes up front. And I'm like, all right, Zane, we're in the line. And here comes Zane. And I'm like, oh, yeah, hand me your folder. And I pull a crayon out of the bottom. And I'm like, signature, smiley face. Good job, kid. Like,
See,
if there was something to address, I missed it.
This is our first year of Huntley having a folder, and so Will and I will literally fight over who gets to sign our initials in
Tyler's
the folder.
like, there's a folder? Like,
Yeah, we're those parents. But anyway, so
precious.
the other 2 mornings, Will's asleep because he doesn't have
he
to
just
go
got up,
anywhere.
yeah.
Like, and so those mornings can be
Hectic.
a little crazy.
Those are donut mornings.
Exactly.
Those are the mornings that you do not make breakfast.
No, it's like, okay, let's roll, Dad. We need your help. Like, go show Dad your shoes, aka like, let's kind of get him awake.
Wakey.
Yeah. Now weekends, like if he works on a Friday and he comes home Saturday morning, I'm like, here's the kids, go. And
Tag,
he's
you're
usually worked a house fire, worked a wreck. He hasn't slept either. And so those can be difficult.
Yep. Well, that's like right now. Like it's like Tyler. The other night, Tyler was like, "I'll take care of her because she has RSV."
Yes.
And he was like, "I'll take care of the night stuff. You just sleep." I was like, "Okay." Well, we both know I'm gonna wake up every time you do, but okay.
Yeah.
And the next morning, he's like, "She did really well," and I'm like, "She woke up 5 times. Is that you think that's really well?"
So good.
And then I'm like, "I hate you." Like, I'm like, "Why do you think that's really well?" Because I couldn't hit the gym yesterday because we got up 3 times. So if you think 5 times is okay, can you do this 3 nights in a row? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I've decided I'm going to sleep on his side of the bed because that side don't hear
They
nothing.
don't hear anything.
Their side of the bed don't hear nothing.
No. The other night, I had both girls come in the middle of the night. Huntley's coughing. Huntley has a terrible gag reflex, okay? She gets in bed with me, and she throws up. It happens. I clean up the bed. We go get Huntley in the bath. I go into bed with the girls.
I got a text at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I've
You
cleaned
know
the
you're good
floor.
friends when you text each other at 3 a.m. because your kids vomited and you know dang well that the other one's not going to answer.
Absolutely.
Except I did because I was pumping.
You said go to sleep, and I couldn't.
I was up. I
Yeah.
was pumping.
So my
we
husband
just
wakes
talked
up
to each other.
the next morning, and he goes, "What happened to the sheets?" Excuse me?
Abort
I
mission.
said, your daughter
Take
threw up.
cover.
He said, why didn't you wake me up? Why didn't you wake up to the crying and the vomiting and the carpet cleaning and the
Oh no.
chair being rolled in the living room? They don't hear it. They don't hear anything.
When Tyler doesn't hear it, I just start slamming. I'm like, he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, the dog got into the trash. And it involved banging? Yep. Like
Loud noises. And the
I
lamp
get
was
so
on.
mad.
The lamp was on.
Oh yeah, you could turn
Kids
on
were
every light in the
crying.
room.
Why didn't you wake me up? Why
Because
didn't
my way
you
of waking
wake
you up would have been me throwing something at you.
Was it?
Every time. Every freaking time. And then there's like, then you're in the whole other realm of, we were just talking about this the other day. So like, and I mean, just now we were talking about like, I got married, bam, parent, right? Like, and kind of like part-time parent really, because Berkeley lives with her mom. So she's not here all the time. So it was like, we still had that marriage time, you know, like freshly married, no kids.
Right.
Then we had a baby. Then we would bring Berkeley in, you know, every other weekend. Then we added another baby. Then we added another baby because, you know, I
Can't
don't
stop
know,
there.
like a freaking rabbit. It's just like baby. Everybody gets a baby. And I'm like, no more. That's a whole other episode. But it was just like, I'm so freaking tired, like all the time. And it's like, I told Tyler the other day, I was like, do you remember the last time we slept through the night? And I was like, without it being like we went somewhere and someone else cared for our children.
Yeah.
Like, not like we went on a trip so our mom had the kids or, you know, whatever. It was like the last time that we voluntarily laid down and went to bed and woke up 8+ hours later was prior to our marriage.
Absolutely.
I was like, I didn't get up to pee in the middle of the night.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah,
a whole
that's
other
a
thing
whole
after
thing.
you have children.
Yeah, you pee all the time. I didn't have to get up to pump. I've been pumping forever. I feel like I'm so over pumping, but freaking formula can't find it anywhere.
So you have to do it.
So I have to pump. That's all. I'm so done pumping. I feel like a walking cow. Like screw it, I'm done. But it's like I told Tyler, I was like, when do we get to sleep again? 18 to 20 years? Like it's like a sentence.
It is.
18 to 20 years. Then you can sleep. Well, yeah, I'll be old. You'll have to
sleep
need a mid-morning nap. Like, need a mid-morning nap now. But so we both are in the education world. So we have summers.
We do.
What is summer like when you're no longer working and your children are no longer at school/daycare, but your husband keeps working? Yours is a little different because you have days that he's home.
It is.
I don't
we
because
do
summer's
have
crazy
some
busy.
days. Summers make me sad sometimes.
I hate summers. I hate them. I love them because I don't have to work. And I hate them because it is my clarification that I am not meant to be a stay-at-home mom.
I know, and I love
I'm
my
not.
children, but I reach the point where I need a break from my
I'm
children.
so excited when it's time for school to start.
Well, and what's funny is like they are too. Like they love their
Yes.
summers with their mom and their dad, but like getting in a routine, having no routine during the summers, and I don't care how many
awful.
times you say you're going to make a routine.
It doesn't
It
happen.
doesn't
the same.
happen.
Well, because unless you get up and physically take them somewhere for 8 hours of their day.
And who wants to do that?
Nobody got time for that. Well, and it's like, even if you try and coordinate, like, hey, we're going to go, we've done that. Like, hey, we're
Yeah.
going to go to the zoo. Those are super productive days, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
They're tired. They're ready for bed. It's awesome. I'm freaking tired.
Oh,
By
I'm
the end
done.
of that day, I'm like, I need 2 days recovery. Like, I
Yeah.
haven't needed 2 days recovery since college. I need 2 days recovery from going to the zoo with my children.
Absolutely.
And it's like, but Tyler, that's his busy time.
Yeah.
So it's like, Tyler's gone and I am the most stressed, the most anxious.
Oh yeah.
And like, there are moms out there who love being home with their babies. And I'm like, more power to you. I am not one of, like, God utilizes the summer to remind me that I am not built to be a stay-at-home mom.
we must have full-time jobs.
Go back to work, volunteer, whatever, go.
Yeah.
Because it's just not, it's not
But
my
then
thing.
here's the flip side of this. Summers are so stressful. Summers are hard. But when I've thought about pursuing a career outside of education, I'm not willing to give that time up because I
Yes.
love that time with my babies
Yes.
as much as I hate it too.
Well, and like Christmas, you got 2 weeks at Christmas, you got a
Yes.
week at Thanksgiving, and people always use these times off as like negatives, like, oh, well, it must be nice to be a teacher because you have all this time off. And I'm like, unless you have ever been a teacher, don't come at me with that because I'll shoot that down real fast.
Exactly.
But like, you have this time with your family that you wouldn't typically get in
Oh,
an
yeah.
8 to 5. Like, you just don't. Just like your husband and my husband don't get that time
Right.
with our kids. My husband gets it if it's raining. Right now is an excellent
Yes.
time for my husband to be home with our kids because there's just water everywhere. Like, I feel like we should be building an ark, but it's like, that's great. But after that, I'm good. Go to school.
Have
How
your
can I support
routine.
your teacher in taking you and educating you
Full
away
year,
from
right?
me? Yes.
Yeah.
I think extended school year is an excellent idea personally. because I have children who need routine more than others.
Yes. Yes.
This freaking struggle. But okay, so let's see. We talked about sleep, that whole thing.
What sleep?
And
Yeah.
lack thereof. Oh, privacy. That's what we were talking about. Like dating your spouse.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore.
No.
And we should, and we say it all the time that we need to. Actually, we're going to bring Victoria into this. So, I don't know. When was your husband's birthday? March? Into March?
March 31st. But we didn't have his birthday
When did we
party.
celebrate?
It was a week later. Or it was that week.
April.
That weekend. It was the very first weekend
Okay,
of
so
April.
beginning of April, I'm very pregnant with Lady Kate.
Yes.
And I'm doing May.
But
And
she came out to party.
I came out to celebrate the birthday
yes.
shenanigans.
You did. And you did a valiant effort.
I did.
You did.
I stayed till at least 10. And then
good.
I was like,
I was
babe,
proud of her.
I'm ready to go home. And our kids weren't with us. They were elsewhere. We had
Yeah.
a sitter. And he was like,
I didn't know this story until she told me the other
Uh-huh.
day how mad she was.
I
Oh,
was.
I've heard this story multiple
She
times.
knows.
I haven't.
She knows.
Well, because I was so busy taking, like, it was my
She was
husband's
being
birthday.
a
and
party
I was doing
planner.
All of that.
So I'm like, okay, babe, I'm ready to go home. And he's like, okay, well, I think I'm going to stay.
Because they're going to go pig hunting.
Can I
because that's what
stay?
Landon wanted to do
Naturally.
for his birthday.
naturally.
Yeah.
And he says, can I stay? And I'm like, what am I going to be like? No.
Yeah, that's
It's a problem for another time.
I thought you were
I'm
just
not
being
that
an
wife.
awesome wife.
I am
and
an
being-
awesome wife.
I
We'll
thought
address
you-
that
well,
later.
I know, but I thought that time I was like, oh, she's just letting him do it because it's Landon's
I
birthday.
was like,
it's fine.
okay, fine. I walk all the way to my car. So Landon and Victoria have this really long rock driveway. Bust my tail, by the way.
Oh,
I
I
did
didn't
not
know
tell
that.
Tyler. He still doesn't know. I
Oh,
fell
no.
going to the car. I was totally
No.
fine. I fell on my butt. I was so emotional and I was so mad. I cried all the way out of your gate because my husband didn't want to come home with
at least
me.
called. I would have
Before before I ever got out of the gate, I got a text message that was like, so now everybody thinks I'm in trouble. I'm like,
Oh, I must have been. I was too
And
busy
I'm gonna
trying
click-
to entertain everybody.
that's
I had
because
no idea what's going on.
everyone is Tyler and Landon.
That's
Yeah.
everyone.
That's all
Yeah.
of them. That's all of them. And I can't say what my response was because it's not appropriate.
I got the response.
And she got the response.
Oh,
And I said, why? Well, you know,
Yeah.
you want him to
Yeah.
figure it out. Put the puzzle pieces together yourself.
Exactly.
I said,
Figure it
why?
out.
And he was like, well, it just didn't seem like you wanted me to leave. And I was like, well, I didn't, you idiot. And I was like, well, I'm super pregnant and our kids are with someone else. This is like the one night we have together. And he was like, I'll plan a date night for us. And I was like, great. Cried all the way home, went to bed, was like, all the way home. Oh, I was so bad. And then,
Oh my gosh,
and
I'm
then
so sorry.
He comes home. Would you like to know when we went on our next date night?
oh, I know.
Oh,
Last
I do
week.
too. Bless it.
I
Last
know.
week. It's been almost a year. And I texted her
sorry.
because there was a possibility that was going to fall through because of other things.
Right.
And I
And what were
texted
my
her
words?
and she said, I am going to be so mad at him if he
Oh,
can't, if he
no.
does not do, I will call him. And I'm like,
Oh,
first of all, no, you
no.
won't because you're non-confrontational.
Oh
But
my
second
gosh,
of
we're
all-
so much the same. I won't do
she
it.
is
I have to
Tyler.
use
Yeah.
Andrea after, like, be like, all right, this is my problem with
I'm the
Landon.
Dr. Phil of the group.
And then
Yeah,
she
absolutely.
goes after Landon and does
I'm
my
like,
dirty
hey,
work.
Yeah.
Your wife doesn't like that. Get it together.
And I explained how Tyler thinks to you.
Yes, I was
because we are
just
the
telling
same.
her this the other night. I was like,
Yeah.
when I wanted to buy this house, I ran it by Mackenzie because she thinks like my husband does financially.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I was mad at my husband for a solid 6 months, and
and
he didn't
I
even know
had
it.
no idea.
Neither did he. It's fine, but like your private, like okay, we're not great about dating each other in general, anyways. And I want to be better about that. And my sister was just telling me about her and her husband got this like kit type thing where it's dates. Like you draw a card.
I've seen this on
And you
Facebook.
you draw the card and you go on dates. And I'm like, that sounds like so much fun. And Katie's like, some are better than others. Approach with caution. And I'm like, well,
Bless
that's
it.
right up my alley.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, we need to do this. But I'm like, okay, but we got to draw 2 cards when it's a slow month. And we got to draw 1 card when it's a busy month.
And you got to make sure you got the babysitters and the people lined up to make this
That's a whole other
happen.
thing.
Yeah.
But yes, all the things. And you have more than one. So it's a little hectic. It's not like asking a babysitter to come for one.
Yeah.
Actually, I asked Victoria's sister to come all the time. She comes and takes care of my children. But the last time she came, Lady Kate
Side
projectile.
note, she is upstairs
yeah,
right
she's
now.
upstairs taking care of them now. Lady Kate
best.
projectile vomited all over her the last time she was here.
Oh,
And I was
bless
like,
it.
please come back. please. She was like, you don't have to pay me. I sure did pay her. I sure did pay her a pretty penny.
She needs to pay money to me for rent.
Well, she just got a hefty payment for babysitting the other day.
I'm going to have to hunt her down.
But like, yeah, like there's no privacy. There's sexy time is a whole different level.
Yeah.
We'll just go there. We'll just do it.
All right. Let's just go.
We're going to let this episode be the spicy episode. There is no sex. I have been dying for it. There's no sexy time.
You know,
Side note, if you're my mother, grandmother, or in-law, same applies for Mackenzie. Just pause and do not watch the remainder of this episode.
No.
Okay. We've made the discllaimer.
You know,
it doesn't exist
it
anymore.
doesn't.
It's not the same.
No. It's very much like, oh my gosh, the children are occupied.
It's
They're in the back
Wednesday.
room.
Go.
Like, hurry, let's go. We got 10 minutes. And you know, there are times where I look at him and I'm like, really, right now? Right now you're gonna make this happen.
Now?
But you know, when you get the second, you gotta go with it because it doesn't happen.
You won't get another one for 10 to 12 business days.
know.
And then it's like, okay, but also don't wake up the children. Like,
No.
like don't. One's confined to a crib. So two for us are confined to a crib. So it's like, okay, we're good. The other one, we'll talk about this in a minute. I don't cage him in, but there is a baby gate. He can only get so far. And I'm like, but still, it's like, I'm not trying to wake up the house. Like, there's no privacy.
You have to be very strategic. Whereas like before kids, it's
And that's
like
no fun.
all the fun.
All the fun.
Yeah.
Just at random.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a Wednesday. That sounds like
It's
fun.
2:00. All right.
No, absolutely not. They're all awake at 2:00.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Or like Sunday afternoons. It's like, but I'm not usually home. Church is over. Everybody's asleep because naps are all thrown off because it's Sunday. And I'm like, but I haven't slept in 3 days.
Yeah, see that's
Also,
a whole other thing.
Also, I don't remember when I showered last.
That's
so
another thing. Is it's like, okay, everybody's asleep. Like now should be our sexy time, but also like when do I get to sleep? Like, hey, I haven't slept all night. I would really love a nap right now. Or like, by the way, my legs look like bear legs. I think is what I referred to them as last week. Because who has time to shave? And when you have girls, they want to shower with you, and that's just a whole nother thing.
I have boys and they shower with me.
Well, there you go.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's like, I just want to take a shower by myself. But it's so much easier. Put them in the shower with you.
Everybody's clean at the same time.
Everybody's confined to one space.
They are.
Until they find your haka. That's
Bless it.
So Zane found my haka pump my haka breast pump in the shower because I had a clog. And so I had used it in the hot shower. And Zane decided there were other places more suitable to pump.
Bless it.
Than the breastises. And we're going to leave it at that. He successfully did that, but we had to talk about why we don't do that.
Yeah.
And then Benjamin saw it. So then Benjamin thought it was funny.
Because
and
the
so
littles have to do with the bigs
every
do.
time I turn around, one of my kids has a haka pump on, like, suction to their forehead like a unicorn, or on their privates, or on like their belly. Zane's like, Mom, look.
Just waves it around.
Put that away. I'm like, I can't. I'm waiting for it to show up in the toilet because everything else shows up in the toilet.
Yeah.
Like, this is toddler life.
This is toddler life.
Did your kids ever put toys in the toilet?
We actually never had that issue.
Is that a girls versus boys thing?
I don't know.
I find things in the toilet all the time.
We have never. Like, my girls are very anal about flushing. It's like a
rephrase.
big part of our day.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
Ever since Benjamin, I find things in the toilet all the time.
Yeah, no.
Zane's in the habit, and part of this is the ADHD. He forgets to flush, which is common with children. The problem is he forgets to flush in his bathroom. I don't use his bathroom. And if he showers with me, days can go by before we realize
I will let you know that I used his bathroom a minute ago, and I flushed for him. So it is freshly flushed. Took care of that for you.
He's like, Mom, I'm going to use your bathroom. And I'm like, could you flush, please? Yeah. And then he'll come out, and I'm like, did you flush? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go check. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Well,
hold on.
Here's the best part. The only reason I went to his is because I was afraid if I went to yours that Benjamin would not
Just
respect
walk
the
in.
closed door. And
Oh, he
so
will
I
not.
thought, let's be more private.
Although
But
for
then,
future reference,
yeah.
there's a lock on mine.
Blessed. Now I know.
Now you know. You can lock my bathroom.
Great.
Zane's figured that out. He can lock Benjamin out of the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
Because one time Tyler was like, did you use this bathroom last? And I was like, are we about to have like a poop conversation? Like, what? I don't recall conversations like this in our marriage very often. And he was like, no, really, who used this toilet last? And I was like, I don't know why. And he was like, just look at it. There's a whole freaking sippy cup in the toilet that Benjamin was like, that looks like a good place for that. And I was like, I don't even know what to, what? Like, I don't even know what to do with that. And then 2 days later, Zane's like, Mom, I got the poop down the toilet. And I'm like, what? What? And Zane can't sit on the toilet correctly. Zane like straddles the toilet and leans forward. Oh. So like he thinks he has to take off everything from the waist down. He's at school. He's completely naked when he poops. He like straddles the toilet, leans forward. Well, then the poop doesn't go in the water. It's on the bowl. So then when he flushes, if he remembers to flush, it doesn't always go down.
Okay, this may be a boy versus girl thing because girls, like we know,
I hope so because I'm tired of this.
They have to sit. We gotta sit the right way. We gotta close the legs because if we don't, then we do have it. The messes. Yeah. But yeah.
So the other day he was like, Mom, I got the poop down the toilet, and I was like, I have questions. I'm concerned. I'm going to need another counseling session after this. What happened? And he was like, come here. I'll show you. And I was like, oh, sweet Lord, baby Jesus, be with us. And homeboy used the toilet bowl brush cleaner to like push the poop into the toilet to flush, which would be fine, except that now there's poop all over the toilet bowl cleaner that he then put back in the stand.
So now you have a poop stand.
So I proceeded to stand in the bathroom, pull up Walmart.com and order 2 brand new toilet bowl cleaners because the nice cleaning lady was coming next week. And I was like, no.
But here's what I need to know. No. Did you throw the brush away or did you save it for the next time he needed to push the poop in?
I threw that thing away and I said, look, bro, here's how this goes. We don't push our poop down with brushes. If you need help, please come ask.
Bless it.
Okay. Haven't had the problem since. It'll happen. The time will come.
The next time you pull the brush out.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. And then there's Benjamin who Benjamin, did you poop? Like, I know you did because we can smell it across the house. Did you poop? No. Are you sure? Nope. Are you poopy? No. I'm like, can we go change your poop diaper? Yeah. I'm like, oh heck.
Great.
These two, is this what boy life is like? Like poop everywhere and pee.
Yeah.
Because you got to teach them how to pee standing up.
We don't do that with girls. We sit. Nope. We got the little mini, training potty so we don't fall in.
That's why Zane sits that way so he won't fall in. He thinks he's gonna fall in. That's what when Zane first started learning, we learned outside because it was just easier. We lived at the farm at the time.
Yeah.
We just lived in the middle of a cotton field, and then. He's a pro at peeing on the side of the road. And then when it came time to pee in a toilet, he was fine with that. But it was like, don't talk to him while he's peeing because he's going to go like this.
Oh, he's going to turn.
And turn to talk to you. And the pee will go with him. And then you're like,
I do need to interrupt.
Bro, you peed on the wall.
Do you remember the one time that we were having supper on your back porch because it was a really nice evening?
And we all look up and he's just butt naked.
Peeing out in the corner. And he goes, Zane. And he does the whole whip around. And we're all like,
take cover.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember. Yeah, because if he's playing outside in the backyard, he'll just drop him and pee. No regard.
This is boy life. This is not girl life.
Okay, well, good to know.
Life.
Good to know. Because we're not there with Benjamin yet. Just saying. And then,
See, we got Huntley fully potty trained at 3. Taylor's working on it.
That's a boy girl thing too.
Was it?
Huntley was potty trained at what'd you say, 3?
Yeah, right before she turned 3.
So this last summer when we went to camp, Zane had officially been potty trained for almost a year, which meant that he was 3, but he was 3 months away from 4. And we had already tried 3 times. We had already started and stopped 3 times with Zane.
Huntley was 1 month away from 3 when she was so technically at 2.
Yeah. No.
Late 2s.
We were almost 4.
Seeing Huntley's 2.5 and we are about 50%.
It's that maturity.
Yeah. We're about 50% she watches Big Sister. She wants to do it. Now she's my
Taylor,
laid back kid. So she doesn't always care that it's happening.
To pee on myself. It's fine.
I'd be like, Taylor, your pull-up's wet. No, it's not. Taylor, I can look at it. I can smell it.
The line is blue.
Yeah, it's blue. She's like, oh, Mama, it's wet. Yes, ma'am. I know
Yes,
that. I can see that. Let's go.
Oh man, what do they get like fixated on things? Zane's like all things tractors and currently flag football because we just started that.
That's it. Not really. Huntley is very into. She's a girl, but like she loves space. She wants to be an astronaut. She loves dinosaurs.
We're big fans of dinosaurs.
Yeah, so we just kind of go through phases. Talon's about the same way. Talon is just real. She's my laid back kid. She is me. She's go with the flow.
That's what everybody always tells me in our family. Like, Zane is Tyler, very cautious, lines up the toy tractors and trucks at the end of the day, very particular. Then there's Benjamin. I don't know who Benjamin is. He's me. That's a lie. He's me. I don't know who Lainey Kate will be. I hope she's a happy combination of the two because I'm not prepared for either one of those again. And then Berkeley is a walking Tyler Higgins. Yeah. I mean, their demeanor, facial expressions, all the things. I've talked about that with her mom before. She's like, does she act like me at all when she's there? Because all I see is Tyler when she's here. Like just a walking Tyler. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much all we see here. Plus a little bit of puberty and sass.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's the other thing. See, you have girls.
I'm going to have that times 2.
You have girls that are 4 and 2 right now.
Yeah.
And we have the 12-year-old who's already gone through puberty.
Yeah, I'm not prepared for that.
I was not prepared for that. I text her mom daily. Like over the summer when she was here, I was like, send help. White flag. I'm going to kill your child.
I was here for some of those experiences.
And it's I'm so glad that we have the relationship that we do because I'll text her and be like, let me tell you about this moment we just had. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. That's me. That sounds like me. Or yes, she does that here. And I'm like, I don't need you to do anything about it, but I'm so validated in knowing that like, oh, good. She does that for you too.
Right,
okay,
it's
cool.
not just you.
Cool. It's not just me. Great. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. See, I'm going to have that times 2. But the problem right now is Huntley is Will. Huntley.
She's better focused than Will.
She is more focused than my sweet husband.
No offense, Will.
No, he knows it too. But we are very much, I had to write a letter to her pre-K teacher. Her pre-K teacher has the assignment
we did that.
to write a letter about your child.
We had the same teacher last year, and we did that.
Love her. Yes. So in my letter, I had to write things like, she will appear to question authority. She is not questioning authority. She genuinely wants to know
why.
Why can I not run down this hallway right now? Like, tell me the reasons why, because I want to know.
Yep.
Which is a glorious thing because she's so curious, but also her and her father are the same, and so they are butting heads.
That's me and
so
Zane.
So bad.
That's me and Zane.
It's rough.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm back in counseling for it.
Bless it.
Because Zane and I think the same.
Yeah.
Will and I think the same.
Yes.
But like Zane and I are very like, I need it to happen now. I need that instant gratification. And when Zane doesn't do what I've asked, or when Zane doesn't answer me because he's distracted by something, I get so frustrated. And then I'll turn around and do the exact same thing to him. And I'm like, that's not fair because he doesn't get it. But it's so hard.
And this is Will and Huntley right now.
It's so hard because then you just clash all day.
Yeah. Like Huntley, she's got elements of me. The whole crying when she thinks something is wrong or thinks she's in trouble. That's 100% me. All my father had to do was look at me and I cried when I was younger.
Well, and you like to make people happy.
I do.
I don't care.
I am in whatchamacallit, the enneagrams, whatever. Yes. I am a 2. I am a helper. I'm a people pleaser. I know this. So Huntley has those elements, but she needs the tough love. She needs the I am the father. I've told you to do this. Do it now.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's going to cry through it, but
she's going to cry through it, but that's what she needs.
And that's Tyler. Like Tyler is not Mr. Non-confrontational, not so much with our kids. That's a thing. Do you get mad? I do this when your husband gets onto your kids.
Not all the time. Sometimes I'm like, hallelujah, thank you. I've been saying this all day. I need you to get on it. And
but
sometimes
like when
I'm
it's really intense.
Oh, that's a little intense. Like
when it's really intense and you're like, stop it. And then you turn around and do exactly what he probably would have just done.
But sometimes I'm like, oh, let's use, this is a teacher brain also. Yes. Like, hey, let's calm this down.
Let's take
a deep breath. Let's talk about it. And Will can get so mad because sometimes I do that and it works the second I do it. And then sometimes he's like,
let me handle this.
Well, and Tyler's very much in that sense of like, just pop them.
yeah.
And that's fine. Like,
There are times that that's needed. Yeah.
But then there are times that they don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Ours specifically. Benjamin doesn't have the vocabulary right now.
Yeah.
And I literally daily say, we do not hit people. Well, then how can I say we do not hit people and then turn around and spank him?
Yes.
How is that logical?
Yeah.
And then with Zane, it's like you can pop him, but it will do absolutely nothing. And his sister, Berkeley, was that way when she was
Yeah.
little. And, you know, Tyler said, I can count on one hand the number of times I spanked Berkeley. And even then, it didn't make any difference. And I'm like, so, you know, like we had this huge blow up at school. It was drop off day and he was not about it. He was not feeling it. The poor teacher had to like tear him out of the car. You'd have thought he was being kidnapped. It was like this whole thing. And then I picked him up that afternoon and I was like, tell me about your morning. Like what happened when you got to school? And he was like, I had really big feelings. And I was like, you don't say. Like we could hear you down the block. Like, and he was like, we did our breathing. And I'm like, what kind of breathing? Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, balloon breathing. And I was like, why don't you show me this balloon breathing?
I know
yeah,
this.
you do.
I taught pre-K.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, we go like this, mommy. And there go our feelings.
Bless
Until
it.
the next time that they come. And I'm like, great. Okay, so let's practice. And then he made me like pretend to drive the car. And he like pretends to sit next to me and he's doing his breathing. And I had lunch with him on Friday and he didn't want me to leave. And so we did our breathing. But like, that's a very sensitive,
Yes.
calm, logic focused way of calming down that a lot of times we live in the world. It's like, no, they need to just listen.
Yes.
And I absolutely do agree that our kids should listen the first time, but they also have to learn to listen the first time. And Zane is distracted 99% of the time. And it's not that he's choosing not to listen. It's that he legit did not hear you.
Mm-hmm.
And so then 99, I know it drives him nuts. 99% of the time, Tyler goes to get on him. I'm like, stop it. It's fine. Let's do our breathing. And Tyler's like, whoop that. Like,
Right.
He's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, let's do our breathing. And then we breathe. And you know, Tyler's sitting there like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, just pop him. He'll be fine. And I'm like, last time you popped him, he threw a 4-hour tantrum.
And I feel like it's very, it depends on
Every
the
kid is
situation.
different.
It depends on the kid. It depends on where you are. You know, if I'm at home, I'm going to probably get after you a lot easier than I am somewhere else.
I don't know. If I'm in the grocery store, I'm gonna let it be real clear.
Yeah.
Like, I might brake check you in the Walmart
Bless
aisle,
it.
y'all. I failed my child at Wally World the other day. So Zane is really bad. Zane gets in the big part of the cart and he's like, I'm a pirate. I'm going to ride the ship. Her. And we're like going down the bread aisle and I'm like, sit down. And he either doesn't hear me or isn't listening or whatever. So I brake checked him. And on any other day, I've done this 1,000 times and I brake check him just enough that he sits back down into the cart. Not this time, folks. No. I brake checked him and we full 360'd out of the cart onto the floor of Wally World. Karen over here on aisle 2 turns around and looks at me like, you heathen of a mother. And I'm like, look, lady, look, I'm going to brake check him again tomorrow. It'll be fine.
Exactly. It's fine.
He never let go of the cart. He had a hold of the cart. He did a full 360. He ate it. He ate the bottom of the cart. And then I proceeded to buy him a Nerf gun and a chocolate bar. And so he's fine.
It's called balance.
It's balance. It is. And so it was like, you know, on some days we remember to breathe. And on other days we brake check our children.
and throw them out of the cart. It's fine. It's called balance.
It's something
We're learning
like that.
all of the things.
Something like that. But, okay, so top favorite thing about being a mom and hardest part.
Oh, no.
I know, it's hard.
Favorite thing. So maybe, I don't, my kids love me and I love to
They
feel,
love me.
they do, but like I love to feel like I'm helpful, I'm needed, like, and maybe that's an Enneagram 2 thing, but like, I don't know. I love seeing their little personalities and watching them grow. And I'm the one on Facebook constantly posting, you know, funny things my kids have said. Like, they're just wonderful little human beings. And so I love that. But the hardest thing is, what is not hard? I mean, everything is
every
so
single part.
hard. Like looking back, I mean, and this goes with anxiety, like anxiety has rocketed through motherhood. Like
Yes.
depression has also appeared in motherhood. Like it's so hard.
And it's not something that either backstory. Mackenzie and I went to high school together. So like
We did.
we go way back. All the way to the band years. And we didn't really, I mean, we weren't even in the same group. Like we knew each
No.
other and we were there, but we weren't even like in the same group. And then like I graduated and you graduated. We like went about our days.
Oh, yeah.
Went and lived life. And then all of a sudden we were working at the same elementary school.
Bless it.
And we rekindled our friendship.
We did.
And now she can't get rid of me.
Yep.
But now it's so cool because our kids are the same age and we're like growing our children together.
Yeah.
But we ironically are also dealing with all of the same struggles. Like you and I both struggle with anxiety. You both we're
Absolutely.
both trying to figure out the right medicine balance for
Yes.
each other. We're trying to figure out the right thing for depression. You're married to an ADHD husband. My
Yes.
husband is married to an ADHD wife.
Yes.
That's a whole other episode I intend to have. But like we had kind of like come back and it was like full circle. Like everything that you struggle with, I get, or vice versa.
Absolutely.
And it's like if you don't have a person or people to like balance that off of, I can't even imagine
Yeah.
like doing that by myself
Yeah, absolutely.
in like mentally.
Like Will laughs at me because I'm like, I'm always, my phone will ring, it's Andrea, or I'm on
We don't
Marco
even
Polo.
and we don't even talk to each other.
No.
We put our AirPods in, we call each other, and
we
put
yell at our children.
Yes, so we put our AirPods in and we just live life. We don't talk to each other. It's literally as if I'm just sitting in your living room, just
Yeah.
watching you live life, and vice versa. Because there's something very comforting about listening to you also have to get onto your children. Like, don't
Yes.
put that up your nose. Quit hitting your brother. Leave them alone. Would you please eat your dinner?
Yeah.
Like, there's something so comforting in hearing someone else do that. That it's like we literally just stick our AirPods in and listen to the other one live life.
Yeah, and you'll
like,
look at me like, oh, we've been on the phone for an hour and a half.
yeah, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go put them to bed.
Yep.
It was nice chatting with you. We didn't have any kind of productive conversation at all.
But we were just there.
Talk
and
to you again
sometimes
tomorrow,
That's needed. Yeah.
Well, and we're 30 miles from each other. And so even then, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's just, it's easier. It makes life easier.
Absolutely.
And so that is the joys of toddlerism.
The
I think
joys.
for me, the funnest part is seeing them. My kids are starting to get to that age, and yours are too, but like where they're like starting to figure each other out as siblings.
Oh, yeah.
And like Benjamin's figuring out how to piss off Zane, but like Zane's figuring out how to comfort Benjamin.
Yeah.
Or like if he's upset about something, Zane like comes to his rescue. And I'm like, the reality is Benjamin's going to have to save your butt because you're tiny and
Yes.
Benjamin's not. But like, I think that's probably one of my favorite parts is like sitting back and watching that, or like watching them with Tyler, or like seeing Tyler come out in them. I
Yeah.
always think that's neat. Like when you start seeing other people come out in them. But I think the hardest part is like all the parts that nobody prepared you for. All
Absolutely.
of the like, especially the anxiety and depression. Like not everybody experiences that, but even from one kid to another, it's different.
Absolutely.
Like even like I had a year of postpartum undiagnosed postpartum depression with Zane. I did really good with Benjamin. I did really good with Lainey Kate, but then circled back to this like super high anxiety, worried about death, worried about all these things, that it was like, okay, well, this is fun. Like I don't like this, but it's like you can't just turn your brain off.
No.
Like, and so it's super comforting to like have a person. She's my Christina Yang. That's a lie. I'm definitely the Christina Yang of the situation.
You know.
I'm too. You're not bossy enough to be the Christina
I'm
Yang of the
not.
situation.
I'm not.
It's
I'm not
okay.
bossy.
I'll be Christina. But anyways, it's just a lot of fun. So, that is this episode. We did it.
We
you
did it. I
survived
did a
your
whole
first
episode.
podcast episode.
I'm so proud of myself.
And you're gonna be back. I have a whole list of these.
Oh, good.
But thank y'all for joining us. Mackenzie will be back, as will her daughter Huntley soon. We're going to interview Huntley and Zane, and we're going to talk about raising kind humans and raising humans to be friends and being polite to each other. And at some point, I hope to have both of our husbands on, and we'll talk about what it's like to be married to an ADHD spouse.
Yeah.
It's not easy. We're going to talk all about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But thank y'all for coming. Like, share, follow, all the things. And we will see you guys next time.